How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are massively dropping in price by 95%. That is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen something that much. Maybe I have. I've been doing this for years. But as far as I can remember, 95% seems to be probably the top that I've seen. So that's quite a bit. But before I get in the video, we have an auction going on right now. Our quarterly featured auction. We have weekly auctions every single Sunday, but this is our every quarter. Big auction with big books, tons of books, lots of books, all grade ranges, all age ranges, everything you'd want and love. Over at collectorscomics.com, we have a bunch going on. It's in preview right now, but it starts on the Friday the 4th, whatever, this coming Friday. This coming Friday it starts, and it'll run for 2 weeks. So go ahead, check that out at collectorscomics.com. Let's get in the video. All right, first is we got Infinite Crisis number 5, first appearance of the new Blue Beetle, which they made a movie about him. Anyways, a 9.8 recently sold for $30. And the one before that was $40. So, yes, it's going down even within a couple of weeks. In January, it's averaging $96. So that's down 68%. Wow, this is always bad if the first one is already 68%. The next line down would be in all of 2023 is 166, so that's down 92% or 82%. And then at its peak, it was selling for $550. That was ridiculous, and it's down 95%. Yeah, that is just ridiculous. Down 95%, but selling for $550 for this book. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Why? I don't know. Why would someone pay $550 for this book? It's not like it's a rare book. Oh, low printing and all that kind of stuff. That was just so much money for this book. And yeah, they came out with the movie. I never saw the movie. I saw the trailer and I was like, yeah. Although I like the actor. He's in Cobra Kai. So, but I don't think the movie didn't do well financially. So maybe I'll watch it one of these days. But yeah, it just looked, I don't know, gave like Power Ranger vibes. Anyways, yeah, $550. And there's a lot of books selling around that price, you know, $450, $550, $525, all this kind of stuff way back then. And yeah, and the peak was back in 2021. So, and dropping ever since, and continues to drop. I think $30 is too low for this book personally. It should be case cost, slightly above case cost, but yeah. Next, we got XMen 244, first appearance of Jubilee, a 9.8, recently sold for $149. And in January, it was $193. That's down 22%. In 2023, it's averaging $254, down 41%. And at its peak, it was selling for $723. That's down 79%. And this book continues to drop. It looked like it kind of dropped, and then at the beginning of the year, it kind of stabilized, but it's been dropping again. It's not back to where it was in 2019 levels. The reason why I always say that is that is a good judge. Because if you just look at the graph on the screen. As you can see, it's just like, like this, slowly, over time, just going up, 2 to 10% a year. That's basically what these comics go up, 2 to 10% a year. And then all of a sudden, massive spike is going down. Once it hits back to 2019, so I imagine if you just erased 2021 from existence, you would have a book that continued just going 2 to 10% a year. So once it hits around that number, that benchmark, so imagine it's just like this line is like 2 to 10% a year, and books every single month jump between this line, but they're steadily going up over time. Now, 2021, it went up here, and it comes back down here. So once it gets back to right around here, then I know that's like a safe bet. And that's where it should be, because you just look at like trend lines, you look how things are doing over time. This book slowly is going up over time, like a lot of books. So right now, it's looking like it's right around almost where it was in 2019. So once it hits that, then I feel like it's safe. So 149, I think it'll drop a little bit more. It could probably be like a 125 book, and then start climbing from there over time. All right, next we got Swamp Thing number 1. This is his second series though. A 9.8 recently sold for $59. In January, it's $91, down 35%. In 2023, it was $131, down 55%. And its peak was $328, down 82%. This is the second series where Alan Moore took over, I think, on issue 20. Became much more popular. Also, during this time, I want to say he had his movie out. They made a movie in the 80s on Swamp Thing. And in fact, I think they made 2. And they might have made a TV show. I don't remember. I think they made 2 movies. Wes Craven did one of them. Made 2 movies. I want to say they had a TV show last like season. Then they had a cartoon. They had a cartoon in the 90s, but this is all in the 80s, like the early 80s. They had these movies. This is like B-rated horror movies. Very weird that this character would get his own movie. Like, he wasn't that popular. I mean, his first series got canceled after a handful of issues, and then they brought him back, and Alan Moore revamped him. He became much more popular after that, but he still wasn't super popular. Not enough to like when other movies weren't getting made. But I guess maybe it was this cheap and easy to do that they literally just put a guy in like a rubber suit and painted it green and then put some like foam sticks on him and then like, oh, he's Swamp Thing. So terrible. So bad. But then they made like, that's crazy. Like you always think about this. It's like, how come certain characters get like multiple opportunities to like hit it? And then other characters, now I'm never going to use them. So get this. He's not a very popular character to begin with. I mean, I like him, but he's not a popular character. Let's just be honest. He gets 2 movies, both. I think the first one was somewhat successful for a low budget. Second one, not so successful. I think he got a TV show in the 80s. I don't remember. It's hard to change from the, or maybe they did a pilot and it never made it in the show. I have no idea. Then he gets a cartoon in the 90s. Then he gets another TV show, like 5-6 years ago. And it's like you get other characters and they get nothing. No TV shows, no movies, no nothing. They don't get any opportunities whatsoever. So yeah, this is funny how this, it's like, Hellboy. They had the first 2 movies, which I liked. Then they rebooted it. It was terrible. Then they rebooted it again, and it bombed again. No one would pick it up and put it in the theaters. It was so bad. So it went direct to DVD. Like, Hellboy. So anyways, this book, I think 59 is too low for this book. I think it's going to be one of those books to jump around. So next we've got XMen 282, first appearance of Bishop, a 9.8 recently sold for 110. It's down 22% from January 140. And all 2023 it was 210, down 48%. And then at its peak it was 490. It's down 78%. Looking at this book, just looking at the trend lines, it's kind of back to where it was 2019. It bottomed and it started going up a little bit, but then it started going down again. So it looks like one of these books where it's just going to be hovering around this price. Down recently, but I think overall, I think you're safe. I think you're safe. If you bought this book for 110 or 100, 125 or something like that, I think you're good. All right, last on the list is New Gods #1, a 9.8 recently sold for $15.60, and in January is $23.19. That is down 33%, and then in all 2023 is averaging about $2,910, down 46%, and that is peak. It was selling for slightly under $4,000. That's down 61%. Yeah, but if you kind of look at the graph for this one, you'll have one that will sell for like $4,000, but then the sale right before it was all the way low, back to basically where this is at. So I don't see this. I don't see this as a trend. What I see is someone buys a good deal on auction, someone pays way too much to just buy it now, and then it happens. And it's a kind of rare book in a 9.8, so it doesn't come around that often. That's all I kind of see, and that's the issue. Is like if you want a New Gods #1. You want a 9.8, so you have a 9.4, you want to upgrade or something, whatever it is, and you need it for your collection, and you see a 9.8, you're not going to get very many opportunities. Like, this doesn't sell often. You get maybe 6 opportunities a year to buy this book. So maybe you sit around and wait for and hunt every single auction that happens, and then you find one, and then you get a decent deal. Or you just bite the bullet and say, I'll just buy it from this dealer, and he kind of has a high price, and whatever, I don't really care. So that's the kind of thing that happens with these books. Yeah, but that is it. Have a great day, and goodbye.